Hey guys, it's Kat and I'm back today with the last check-in for my spring project pan of 2018. So it is currently summer, so I'm glad that the spring one's over. But if you don't know what I'm doing for my project pan in the new year, I did do a video with Hayley, so I'll link that up in the cards, of what we're going to do. We're kind of combining forces and doing the same sort of project pan in the new year. So what I'm doing today is just concluding my project pan of the last couple of months, sort of recapping it, telling you the products and what I actually did finish, what I didn't finish, and sort of recapping the other products that I had used throughout the months. And then what I'll do in the new year, and I'm gonna give myself like a week or two to sort it out. So it's not as if my next video is gonna be the start of my new project pan, but I'm going to start doing a bit of a clean out and declutter of some of my makeup. I will film some of it, not all of it. I'll just film the sort of interesting parts, but I want to sort of go through my makeup and then figure out what products I want to throw out, what products I want to gift to people or donate if it hasn't been opened. And I also want to figure out what products I want to target for 2019 in a project pan. So once I do that, I'm gonna then film my project pan intro. So yeah, give me a couple of weeks into the new year and I'll start that. But right now, let's just conclude the spring project pan. All right, guys, I've really knuckled down and I have finished the majority of the products in my project pan. Now, there were a few products that were looking like they were going to be hard to do, and I persisted and I made sure I got it done. But some of the products that were quite easy, I used up my Bondi Sands. This is the Everyday Gradual Tanning Milk. So I will put progress on the screen, but last time it was here and it's got a little bit left in there that is really hard to get out. So as soon as it was like really difficult to get out, I was just like, look, I've had enough. But yeah, so it's sort of down the bottom now, and then you can see on the screen the progression of it all. Then I also used up my Palmer's cocoa butter. This was all right, this was pretty easy to use up, and I'll have on the screen the different weights throughout the check-ins because since I couldn't see through this packaging, I had to weigh it. I ended up using up all three of my serums from The Ordinary. Last time I checked in, I was doing really well. So for example, this one was down to there, so it was just a tiny bit left. I think I used that up in like just a couple of days. So this one was the Buffet serum, that one there. Then I had the Retinoid that was down to there. And it was super easy to use up as well. So the progress will be on the screen. And this last one was a little bit harder. This was the Niacinamide. And because I'd been focusing on the other two, this one was up to there, but I eventually got it down to here, empty. And I mainly did that by using this sort of on my face and my neck and chest. So I used those and I'm glad I did. Two products that probably aren't completely used up, but they're at the point where they're difficult to use, so I'm saying they're used up. The Benefit They're Real Tinted Primer. So this is, yeah, it's an eyelash primer. It's like a brown product, and it actually does a good job at sort of helping separate and sort of add a little bit of volume before you put a layer of mascara on. I just found that as I was using this, it was getting so dry that I was sort of like, I can't actually tell that it's doing anything. So I ended up just figuring that's done. Another thing is the Innisfree Cushion Foundation. I don't know, there's still a little bit of product in there, but when it got to the point where I'd mainly use this by getting a makeup sponge, dabbing it in and then putting it on my face, and then I'd sometimes flip the sponge over. And when this became like annoying to use, where like I was spending more time trying to get the product on the sponge than me actually doing my makeup, I thought, look, I'm calling this done. There's still a little bit of product in there, but I just don't want to use it. So that is done for me. The two products that I did finish up, but these were like down to the wire. These were really hard. I had to be super committed. I had to reapply multiple times. Yeah, but I got there. So the first one is the fragrance. So this is the DKNY Be Desired. I think this was probably too ambitious because it was 100 ml. And I've got a little bit left in there, as you can see, but you can see the progression on the screen. This one, I only finished sort of yesterday. And admittedly, it got to a point where I was like, I'm not going to use this. If I gave myself an extra week in my project pan, which I didn't want to do because it's going to be too much into the new year, I thought I would definitely be able to use this up just organically. But then it got to a point where I'm like, I just want to use it up. So I used it occasionally as like a room spray. Only in the last, couple of days I did that. And I did reapply a couple of times as well, which I don't like doing with fragrances. I feel it's sort of like too much fragrance, but I really wanted to use this. Some people will say that's being wasteful, but it was only at the very end when I wanted to be like, I want you gone. I want you gone. So, if I wanted it gone, I wanted it gone. So I did actually use that one up. The other one that came down to the wire and, I'm wearing it today. It's a lipstick I'm wearing. It is MAC Velvet Teddy. Now this, if you have a look at it now, is sort of completely done. There's a little bit like a little dip where I could like reapply maybe 1 or 2 other times. This has got down to the stage where it is hard to apply from the bullet because the sort of rim around will start to sort of not scratch your lips. That's a bit dramatic, but you'll feel it on your lips. So you can't get that sort of precise line. So if I really wanted to, I could maybe use this like 1 more time. I could either use it today to like reapply a couple of times, which I don't need to reapply today because after this, I'm probably going to take my makeup off. But if I wanted to use this again, say tomorrow, I would probably have to use it with a lip liner. So actually put a lip liner on and then fill it in with this. So there's a little bit left, but I've been using this so much in the last week or so because I was so close to finishing it. So I was the person that I usually, especially if I'm wearing a nude lipstick, I put it on, it looks fine, it looks good, and then I just let it sort of wear off and I don't bother reapplying unless I'm leaving the house to go somewhere or I've gone from a place to another place and I just thought I'll touch up in the bathroom or whatever. But normally with a nude lipstick, I just let it fade off. I'm like, it's nude, I don't care. But in the last week, which has been around Christmas, we've been catching up with friends. And like, I even remember I was at a bar and I was having like a beer with a few friends and I'm like, oh, got to reapply my lipstick. And I never do that. I'm never that person to do that. If I'm wearing a bright lipstick, I might reapply when I've gone to the bathroom, but I never do that. But lately I've been that person with this. So I am very proud that I got it down because it was hit or miss. In the last couple of days, it was at a point where I'm like, I've either got to super commit to this or I'm not getting it done, and I committed. So yeah, that's why like in all beauty news videos and in all my videos, I've been wearing a nude lipstick because it's this. I've been trying to use this, but I love this lipstick and I'm really proud of myself that I got it done. If I really wanted to, I can dig in there, but this is a very old lipstick and I've got to back up. So I may as well just say goodbye, good friend. I will miss you and I will back to MAC you as well and probably get a similar product. All right, the 3 products that I will roll over to next year's project pan. I knew I wasn't going to finish these, but I think I've made some decent progress, I hope. One is the Coty Airspun powder. So there's this much left. I think when I sort of introduced it, it was sort of halfway, but you'll have the weight on the screen. You'll see the progress of it anyway, and I will continue to use that into the next year's project pan. Then I've got the Benefit What's Up highlighter. I only introduced this recently, and this is a hard product to use up. I have been using it and there's this much left. So what I've done today is I've put it under my foundation, just on the perimeter of my face, blended it in with my primer, then put my foundation over the top. And I also this month have put it on my legs a couple of times, just like down the front of my leg, and I think it's a nice product for the body, but I don't know, I haven't looked at the photos, so I don't know how much I've actually used compared to last time. I feel like last month I used it a lot more than I did this month, but you can see that it's down to like there. So once again, you'll see the progress on the screen. The last product that I didn't finish was my gel liner from Colourpop. This is getting quite dry, and you can see I have sort of hit pan. It is getting to the stage where I do sort of have to use Duraline to make this work a lot smoother. So I do want this gone. So I will continue it in my project pan next year. I think this year for me has been the year of more colorful liner. So I'm wearing red liner right now. So black liner has not been my go-to. So it's been a hard year. I think under normal circumstances, I would have used this up, but because this has been the year of, I've been using multichrome pigments and mixing it with Duraline, and I've been using, different colored liners or I haven't been using liner at all. So for me, it's been either fun liner or no liner sort of year. So black liner really has taken a back seat for me, but I do want to use this up next year because it is going dry. If I don't use it up next year, then I'm chucking it because it was very cheap. It's getting old, and yeah, if I haven't used it up in that period of time, I don't need it in my collection. All right, so those are the products that I've currently got in my project pan, and that is the conclusion of them. I think I've done a pretty good job. Most of them are done, and even the hard things like the fragrance and a lipstick, I got done. I got there in the end. But I am now going to go through the products that I did introduce in this seasonal project pan, and we can sort of reflect. All right, so in my spring project pan, I also used up the Chloé fragrance, the Roses de Chloé. So that one was used up. I used up the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow foundation, which was great. I used up the Maybelline Master Prime Anti-Redness Primer. I used it up pretty quickly. And the Eye of Horus Dual Brow Perfect in medium. So it's a dual-ended brow product. Then I used up the Rimmel Scandaleyes Khol Kajal pencil in brown. All right, so that's it. I used up 14 products in my spring project pan, and I made some decent progress on 3 that I'll carry over to next year. So yeah, keep an eye out in the next week or 2 for the introduction of my new project pan for 2019. If you aren't familiar with what I'm doing for my project pan, like I said, I will put on the screen and in the cards the video introducing what we're calling Team Project Pan, which is sort of like a way to encourage other people if they want to come along and do a project pan as well. It's a year-long one. It rolls through. It's like a full face. So yeah, if you want to see more about that, video will be on the screen. But I will be back with some declutter videos and also the introduction to my new project pan in the next couple of weeks. So I'll see you guys soon. Bye.